Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network. For the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews, press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Meet the Movie Press. Roundtable movie news and commentary from the industry's premier film journalists.
Happy Friday, everybody. And this is Meet the Movie Press on the Popcorn Talk Network. Oh my God, hello. I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com. Back after I moved last week. Thanks so much, guys, for sending me those tweets on where the hell are you, Riley? Yeah, I was moving again. And Jeff Sneider is currently on assignment, but guess who's here?
Me.
Sasha Pearl-Waver.
Hi.
How the hell are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to spend my rainy Friday with you.
I know. This is awesome. And your triumphant return, because everybody was tweeting after you came on. And then I love how, like, the following week you're on the Schmoes No Main show with the girls.
Which was awesome. We want to do that again. We need an all-girl movie talk one more time. That was really fun.
Well, that's why I actually emailed you and Miri trying to get you both on, because I thought it'd be fun to have like an all-female, including me.
The all-female.
The all-female.
Yes, Meet the Movie Press.
Sure.
There's something, we're going to have a Diane Sawyer moment here.
Exactly. It's like, so what was it like being a female, Riley? Never mind. Oh my God, TGIF MTMP. I love it. Jake Higgins. Mimp. And we are on the live chat on Meet the Movie Press. Popcorn Talk Network on YouTube page. I see you guys chiming in. Guys, if you want to go in to the youtube.com/popcorn talk and drop in some comments, follow along live with us, because we are going to do the return of Hopeful News Break later on. We're going to get to that because you guys have been awesome. You know, we drop in on our Facebook fan page. We say, what do you guys want to hear break in the industry, in the movie news? And God, I love it when people are like, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this. And so we're doing it again. The news has been kind of crazy the past few weeks, and we had another big week.
Yeah.
I think. Lots to talk about, which we're going to talk about. Spiderman. Ava DuVernay possibly doing a Marvel movie. We're going to talk about the Planet of the Apes title, sequel, prequel, everything, whatever the hell this thing is now. And we're going to talk about Mad Max, but let's do that off the top.
Yes.
No spoilers, but Sasha, you saw it.
I saw it. I saw Mad Max about 2 weeks ago at a screening where George Miller spoke. He was interviewed by Edgar Wright, which was just
that's awesome.
Geek skeet everywhere.
Oh my God.
It was rad. The film, I mean, based on just the trailer, I think I had the excitement level that everybody has. It looks incredible.
It just, yeah.
When you sit down, I don't even know that I was prepared. Like, I was stoked. I was amped. But it is basically a 2-hour chase sequence that is unrelenting in the most incredible ways. He made a rock opera, practical stunt cornucopia. He said he did 3,500 storyboards before he ever wrote a single page of the script.
Wow.
So visually, you have this just unbelievable spectacle. Here's how good the spectacle is.
Okay.
It was shot in Namibia. It's this barren, dystopian wasteland.
Sure.
I'm watching the movie and I'm like, I want to go to Namibia. If Mad Max inspires tourism, you know it's good.
Then it did its job and did it well.
The thing that I think people maybe don't expect is just how much this is a Furiosa movie as opposed to a Mad Max movie. Tom Hardy is, of course, integral, but it's really about Charlize Theron, and there's this really cool, sort of surprising feminist subplot.
Really?
And it's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. It's so visceral that you leave, and it's one of those like dangerous to get in your car and drive movies, because you're like, I want to do that.
Yeah, it's like after playing Grand Theft Auto too much, and you're just like, I'm going to kill that hooker. You're like, no, sorry, I don't condone that. But I get what you're saying.
Don't kill the hookers.
Don't kill the hookers.
So many points, though.
I know. Oh, boy, that's coming at you early on a Friday. That's awesome. For me, it was like I haven't seen it because a lot of times I don't get these press screenings, and I only host a Meet the Movie Press show on the Popcorn Talk Network.
You should be one of the first people they invite.
I'm like sending emails, and they're like, "Who are you again?" I'm like, you know what? Okay.
Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief.
Editor-in-chief for schmoesknow.com. She a fat person. So I've heard, what I want to say is, like, this embargo that went on for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was like the worst kept secret in the world that people were adoring this movie.
Sure.
I mean, people were like, I can't talk about it, but I will say that it's awesome. Or I can't talk about it, but if you'll like look at a number between 1 and 10, and the number between 8 and 10 is my score. It's like, I just don't understand, like, why, if all this word of mouth is spreading already and the critics are like gushing over it, just let it go.
Well, this is so interesting for me because embargoes 99% of the time are because a movie is incredibly bad and they want to keep the bad buzz down.
Absolutely.
Which actually is happening right now with a movie that I won't say, but I'll just say it's Disney. And it comes out soon. And it was a raging, steaming pile. And I hated it.
Don't tell me. I know what it is.
So bummed. I didn't break embargo. Anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Mad Max,
about.
They were trying to keep the Cannes reaction back because it didn't premiere at Cannes until yesterday, which I think was like today with the time change.
Yeah.
So they wanted to like let the Cannes audience have that experience.
I get that.
But it was so stupid because I think people were actually a little bit nervous about this movie. People were like, can he do it again? After doing Babe and Happy Feet, does George Miller still have cojones? And he's got them in spades.
Yeah, and I think too, they might have been worried. I mean, this is a brand that hasn't been around in a long time. And I've heard a lot of critics or a lot of movie fans talking about it when they're talking about box office. Like, is it going to knock Avengers off? Is it going to be? I think it is. Absolutely is. And I wish I could go back. I wrote an article for a site, and I was like, oh, it's probably not going to make be number one. And I'm putting my foot in my mouth now, knowing that that's going to come out later.
No, but it's
But I think it will.
3 weeks.
Yeah, but I hear this strong buzz going towards it, where it's going to open big. I think. I mean, not probably Avengers big, but yeah, I was talking about, so what do you think of the brand itself? Mad Max, everybody thinks Mel Gibson.
Right.
That was a long time ago. Then that brand is kind of intermingled with who he is now.
And that's the problem.
That was the problem, right?
Yeah, people are so afraid to touch anything that's his because, come on, he's had a major, major downward spiral.
Yeah, sadly.
He's got nothing to do with this movie. This is such a perfect, fresh start for... When we did the all-girl show, we were talking, one of the fans wrote in and said, do you think that Furiosa could be one of the great female protagonists, and will it inspire a future franchise? And I said, I don't know that Charlize Theron wants a franchise. She might not want it, but she will definitely get it. Because this film easily could spin off. Easily, I could see 3 more of these. I would happily strap in for that.
Oh, that's great.
It's really fantastic. And the other thing that's so good is he went practical on everything. He said it was basically 120 days shooting just stunts.
Yeah.
And the stunts are these Fast and the Furious gone Cirque du Soleil.
Ooh, yeah. That's a great description.
It's unreal to sit through. And yeah, I loved it. I think what's actually going to happen is I think it's going to open big, but I think the thing that people are going to be so impressed by is I don't think it's going to drop that far. I think the word of mouth is going to be very strong.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm actually hoping for that more than over, like, say, a Dredd kind of thing. Remember, like, Dredd came out, didn't do well. Sequel probably is not going to happen, and it became this like cult thing where people are like, no, it's good. Trust me, trust me. And I worry that might have been because Dredd was tied to Sylvester Stallone with the like, hey, I'm the and the weird whatever. Yeah. So I hope Mad Max. I mean, this is so promising to me because I want to see it. I actually heard somebody say, and I'll get your opinion, that this is the movie that's going to make the Oscars go, we need a stunt category.
That was one of the things that Edgar Wright said to George Miller.
Maybe that's where I heard it. Yeah.
I mean, when you see it, it seems ridiculous that these people who do death-defying work every day and truly do risk life and limb don't have any sort of recognition.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. That, and also the fact that Fury 7 was so big this year, that Avengers was so big. I'm going to see San Andreas tonight, which I can't wait for because I'm seeing it in 4DX.
Oh,
which
are you
I've never done? Because if you're going to go stupid, you go big and you go stupid.
Yeah, so you can see that ocean liner crash into downtown LA. That's going to be awesome.
Oh my God, I can't wait. It's going to be so dumb.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to think of that.
4DX doesn't just shake your seat. They also like blast you with mists and smells.
Oh my God, I did that have you been to CinemaCon?
No.
I did the CinemaCon experience a few years ago and, covered it, and we went into the showroom, and they were playing a clip from G.I. Joe Retaliation of all things. But you were in the seat, it's the 4DX, and you're feeling, and you're like, whoa, Wow, I can't believe I'm a ninja right now. Because he was on the mountaintop. It was really funny, but
Oh, man.
that's going to be stupid awesome.
So it's certainly stupid. Awesome TBD.
Yeah.
But like something like 4DX, I think for Mad Max would actually be really damn cool.
Oh, that would be cool.
There's something they do with like silver spray paint. That was actually one of my favorite things. Like it makes you want to eat silver spray paint.
Ooh,
it makes you
okay.
want to go to Namibia, eat silver spray paint, and get an amputated arm. That's how good it is.
Every time you say Namibia? Namibia. It sounds like a planet from the Star Wars universe. It's
It
like,
should be.
Where can I go to Namibia? Is it next to Hoth? It's really cool. Yeah, that sounds
It is,
amazing.
and it's filled with supermodels.
Oh, okay.
It's where Adam Levine's Victoria's Secret Bahati wifey comes from.
Is that why it got pelted with sugar?
I loved that they did that. That actually made me really. It was organic. My favorite part about him getting hit with the sugar bomb was it was organic, Whole Foods powdered sugar.
Oh my God. Sorry, a little pop culture TMZ news break.
On the Pop Talk.
On the Popcorn Talk. You know, pop.
Yeah.
There's pop in the title here.
Yeah.
So guys, that's Mad Max. I don't want to get into more. That's a rave review.
You have to see it. It's phenomenal.
Okay. No, I'm going to see it. I want to see it this weekend. But I'm going to be trapped. There's a pride parade going on this weekend, so I'm going to be trapped. But I think we can actually walk through and go to the theater and see Mad Max. I'm going to do that.
And then watch. I want to watch like Babe and Happy Feet again.
Just see how he's progressed.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting, guys? After this movie, and guys, are you on the chat boards? Have you seen Mad Max? Drop in some of your thoughts. Don't spoil it, but drop in some of your thoughts. What would have been his Justice League? Do you remember this?
Oh.
He was going to make Justice League.
Oh, right.
This is before Batman, before the Batman Begins with Nolan.
Oh, man.
They were going to do, and Armie Hammer was Batman. Adam Brody was the Flash. I'm forgetting some of the others, but hearing that now, it's like it just makes me think of this universe that he could have created. We would have had a whole new DC universe.
Yeah.
We might have each actually not had a Marvel Marvel shared universe because it was coming out before Marvel was doing Iron Man. So just food for thought.
Wow.
Alternate universe, as it were, in comics and everything. So that's Mad Max Fury Road. I can't wait to see it. But let's get into some news, Sasha.
Let's do it.
There was a lot of things that broke. And guys, again, if you're on the live chat board on YouTube, drop in some what you want to talk about. There's some big stuff that came out. I think we're just going to go right to it.
Cool.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
El Mayimbe. I keep saying his name wrong sometimes. I apologize, Umberto, because I know he's launching a new site, by the way. He's taking his scoops to Instagram, which is pretty cool. Huh. And he dropped this, and Deadline later came right out after and said, yep, this is true.
Yeah.
Asa Butterfield is the front runner and possibly already in talks, starting the negotiation process to be Spider-Man.
Right.
Thoughts?
Okay. When I first heard of the people that they were looking at, I was more interested in the kid who was in the Impossible,
yes.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yes.
I thought that he would have been, they were definitely going, it seemed like they were going foreign. There were some Americans in the loop, but there was also the kid from the Way Back who I thought was great.
Yeah, I know. I actually really liked him. And what's his name again?
I don't remember.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Sorry,
bad
Way Back.
movie press people.
Well,
don't know names.
We Google things before we go in and talk to people.
We do Google things.
It's 9 a.m.
and raining. And it's raining.
But when I first heard about this, Asa Butterfield is kind of a weirdo. I mean,
he is.
He's like a weird little kid in Ender's Game and Hugo. He's like an odd bird. So I think that that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Here's my concern. They keep saying, Kevin Feige's giving me two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
It's not an origin story.
Nope. Right.
But we're starting before he had his powers, and then we're going to show you the out of the loop, can't fit in kid.
Okay.
And then we're going to show him with the powers. How is that not an origin story? I
think I know what he means, to be honest with you.
Okay, explain
because
it to
there's
me.
another comment that he made that he basically kind of inferred that while the Avengers and the Marvel universe has been happening, there is a kid running around New York with spider powers.
Okay.
Already. Like he's kind of already there. There's been talk, people are aware of this, and that when we get to possibly Civil War.
No, he's definitely in Civil War.
I mean, that's what. Yes, I absolutely believe. Marvel hasn't confirmed it yet. They haven't said yes, he's in Civil War, but everybody knows because when it came out, he's going to be in a Marvel movie, and then he's going to have his own 3 movies or 5 or however many they're going to do.
So unless he's an Ant-Man, and nobody told us,
unless he's an Ant-Man, which could be
after trailer,
ants and spiders,
credits.
They go along. Insects. Okay. Arachnids. So maybe that's true. So maybe they're going to like do that where you see him being all awkward and everything, and then he just goes home, puts on the suit, and goes out. But I tend to agree with you. There's going to be a form of an origin story, whether it might be a small flashback or whether it will be mentioning this is what happened. I hope it's not this like exposition thing where he's like, hey, Mary Jane, I got bit by a spider 3 years ago, and this is what happened. No, but it's going to be very interesting. But back to Asa. He was one of my very first celebrity interviews.
Oh, for what?
He was getting some sort of, it was for Ender's Game.
Yeah.
And he was at CinemaCon, to go back to that. And I love what you said, because he's this little awkward, shy kid, which I kind of love. Now that I think about it, I wasn't crazy about him being the front runner. I was like, I don't know. I've seen Hugo, I've seen Ender's Game. Sure, he's great, but I didn't see him as Peter Parker. But now, once you said that, I was like, oh yeah. When I was talking to him, it was like really hard to get stuff out of him because he was really shy. And then, of course, I'm like, oh, what other filmmakers do you want to work with? Like, that you haven't worked with before? Martin Scorsese? And then he walked out. He's like, yeah, that would be great. I'd work with him. And he's looking at me funny, and I'm like, what's going on? Oh, right, you're in Hugo. Directed by Martin Scorsese. Okay, so I put a foot in my mouth. But yeah, he was very shy. He was very kind of reserved, and maybe it'll fit. So,
but what about like the wisecracking side of Peter Parker? What about like the funny... Because that's one of the things I like the most about Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Is I think that he gets the humor and the wit.
Yeah, he was my favorite. I really liked Andrew Garfield. Did you like him?
Oh, yeah. Above Tobey Maguire, far and away.
Yeah, above Tobey Maguire. He kind of had it.
If we could have done, like, not Mark Webb, but with Andrew Garfield. And if it could have been Sam Raimi and Andrew Garfield, that would have been really nice. And hello, Emma Stone. Just give me Emma Stone.
I know, and Emma Stone, they had such great chemistry. It's sad. I mean, the reality is it wasn't their fault. Yeah. And it was, Sony's fault for putting their hands in their mitts and everything and forcing, it wasn't Mark Webb's fault either, I believe. They were forcing him to do a shared universe. You have to put in I mean, it's basically, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a long trailer for Sinister 7, or Sinister 6. Sinister 7? Sinister 6, sorry. And that, it's to the detriment of the franchise and the story, and Andrew Garfield, poor guy, shows up at Comic-Con to announce it in the Spider-Man costume, asking a question. He is a true fan. I'm hot, by the way. I'm taking this off.
Take it all off.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Riley around.
I know, right? I'm doing a strip show. Yeah, so I think Asa is a lock. I think we're just going to get the confirmation in like a week or so. And it's going to be Marvel that does it. They're probably going to, do a formal press announcement, and we're going to get it. So
there hasn't been any sort of fan outcry. It's not like they brought this up and people were like, no, he can't do it. He's got no right doing it. I think they just are sort of, I don't think they wanted to announce it yet, but I think they're sort of, chumming the waters to see what'll happen, and then it'll all come together.
Yeah.
Did you see the thing about Mark Ruffalo and the Hulk possibly being in Civil War?
Ooh, I didn't.
So he tweeted something that was very, nebulous, but pretty much just said, like, welcome to the wild party. Ooh. And just put up something on Tumblr, which was a Civil War like poster.
Oh, okay.
But it's enough to get people thinking that the Hulk is going to be, which, I mean, at this point, every single original Avenger outside of Thor, I think, is in Civil War.
I was just going to say, Thor's not going to be there.
Well, Thor's busy getting ready for his next sequel.
Yeah, he's in Asgard, looking into the Infinity Stones, which I finally saw Avengers, and I loved it.
When?
Well, I saw it opening night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was going to
finally, because I wasn't here last week, so I didn't really get to say that I loved it. It was exactly what it's a popcorn movie. You go, you check your brain at the door, and you go, look at how awesome this is. And it was funny, and Joss Whedon did an amazing job, and I'm sorry that he got booted off of Twitter, or he left Twitter. It's not his fault. And this, I don't. Did you buy the sexism of Black Widow, like that it was like, thank you.
That whole thing. Well, also like Chris Evans and Jeremy Renner calling her a slut and everybody freaking out. Listen, I'm the first and the last person to slut shame.
Right.
Like I'll do it, but I do it like a loving way, and I certainly don't encourage other people to do it.
Sure.
But I think there's a lot of things that I think are wrong in Hollywood, and I do think there's a lot of pervasive sexism.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the place to look for it.
Yeah. No. It just, I mean, if you want to look at like what's going on in Hollywood, look at the fact that a wonderful scene with kick-ass Black Widow going, I gotta go save you boys. She literally says that and then gets on a motorcycle and drops out of a jet.
So rad.
Okay? Like, are you gonna do that? Okay, she's a female. She drops out of a frickin' jet, lands and picks up, I gotta pick up after your boys.
Yeah.
Picks up Cap's shield, throws it to him, helps out. She's kicking ass. Joss Whedon, who's been writing strong female protagonists his entire career.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's gonna take this one movie and shit on the female race? No. And then if you want to really look at how dirty it is, look at how the manufacturers, the merchandising, changed that scene, and now you can buy the toy set, and it's Captain America. No Black Widow.
Yeah.
So kiss my ass out there, okay?
Question.
Yeah.
Which Avengers do you like better, first or second?
I still like the first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm still kind of torn.
I want to see the second one again because I've been watching the Avengers now. Every time it's on TV, I'm just like,
I got it.
I'm just going to stick around and watch it. I find myself like, even when I was moving in this past week and we were in boxes and everything, I put on Avengers in the background.
Yeah.
It's just one of those movies that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. So, jury's out. I don't know. I mean, I still just dig the fact that the Avengers came out and they did it. They stuck the landing with all of them together for the first time in history in a movie. That's why I think it kind of holds a special place in my heart.
I love them both. I've seen Ultron twice now.
Okay.
And I think it's just Joss hit the humor.
Yeah, he did.
Spader.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so neck and neck for me because it's like, ooh, Hiddleston, Spader. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is in 10 years I'll finally have an answer to this.
Yeah.
But it's right there for me.
Yeah, I still go Hiddleston. I still think Loki is just he was
such a great
he was
villain.
So great. I mean, it just is so funny. And that tone there is like, you know, how dare you come in? I am a god. And then you just boom, 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 you know, still love it to this day. So, well, that's the Marvel talk. We have some more news that we need to get to, but Asa Butterfield is probably Spider-Man. You know, the jury's out. I'm going to reserve my judgment. I think he's going to do it, and it all depends on who we're going to get for the directors and who's writing it, and you know, and so we'll see. I mean, you know, the fact that, and a lot of people, I was on the chat board for one of the main shows a couple weeks ago, and they're like, I hate how you keep saying that it's Marvel doing this. It's Sony doing it. It's just, Marvel's just lending the character. And no, I said that wrong. Sony's lending the character.
Right.
Look, Kevin Feige is involved in this now. So right then, call it a Marvel movie because he's the grand poobah here. So he's going to take good care of Spider-Man. Now we just got to wait and see.
Who would you want to see write and direct?
I wanted Drew Goddard when it was originally kind of rumored that he was up for it.
Be awesome.
You know, because of his work on Daredevil, you know, the TV series, and was just amazing show. I love Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
I just thought he would have been great. And it's funny, I can't really even think of who's up for directing him now. It's 5 directors, and I forget all of them, and that's why I think that's, you know, but who knows? You know, it might be another Mark Webb situation. You know, just Mark Webb came and did 500 Days of Summer, and then he got Spider-Man. So this is kind of, they're doing a similar thing with some of the names out there.
Yeah.
I know it's indie movies. And again, I'm a bad movie presser because I'm not remembering these names, but it's because there's so much news.
Well, it's a lot of like, they're definitely going indie rock. Like it's the dude who did St. Vincent.
That's right. Thank you. St. Vincent.
It's the one I thought was most interesting is Jonathan Levine, who did 50/50.
Thank you. Jonathan Levine. Yes, so those are my 2 picks, actually, now that I remember.
Those are the 2 that I think, when you hear those names, I think it's really obvious the tone that they're going for and what kind of Spider-Man we're going to get. And it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be that blown out.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you go to people who do art house indie character pieces and then say, give me a 45-minute chase sequence or a giant like action set piece.
Right.
Because it's just not in their toolbox.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point.
So we'll see.
We will see, guys. And drop your comments into the live chat. I mean, there's a lot of you watching. Thank you for tuning in here on the Popcorn Talk Network. Meet the Movie Press. And let's go to the next topic, because there's a lot out there. Let's stay in the Marvel U for a minute, because I love this news. The MCU. Ava DuVernay up for a directing role, rumored, I guess. Jeff Sneider dropped this, which, nice one, Sneider. If you're out there listening.
The
In-Sneider dropped this exclusive. Ava DuVernay is up for either Black Panther or Captain Marvel, and everybody's saying, of course, it's Black Panther. Which
why's it got to be black?
Why? Exactly.
Why's it got to be black?
She's female. She could be up for Captain Marvel. We don't know.
Sure.
And Devin Faraci over at he changed the Badass Digest to something Live Movies Die, something like that. God, I'm butchering it. Sorry.
It's so Friday. It's raining. It never rains in LA.
Yeah, you kind of just then it rains in your noggin and you're just like, I just want to go home and watch movies. But he said a great comment. Devin Faraci on Twitter actually said, hey, wouldn't it be great if Ava DuVernay actually booked one of those movies and then they got another female director for the other movie?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Just because the ACLU, they just came out and said that there is definite bad treatment for women in directing and movies, and that they're not up for these parts, but these men are, and it's absolutely true. And on that same day, Sneider drops this, that, is a great...
Which is very cool.
It's very cool. It's very good timing, because it's very true. I think we need more female directors. I think they could do an Avengers. They can do anything that they want to do. They can do Star Wars. This is my humble opinion, but we don't need to do that. So I really like Devin's call on that. So who knows? But what do you think? Ava DuVernay for Black Panther or Captain Marvel? I
think she has such an incredible visual style.
Yes, thank you.
I would love to see what she does in a gigantic tentpole. I think that this is becoming so part of the conversation, whether or not, it's not a question of whether or not there's sexism in Hollywood. There is sexism in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Female directors are maybe 9%. Female cinematographers are 3%. Female editors are right around that same 5-6%.
Sure.
And you end up with some people like Martin Scorsese who work with strong female editors. And it becomes a thing. And same Quentin Tarantino also. But there's just not that many women who get that call. Yeah. And with Wonder Woman, it's sort of come up. I have to say, I've said it a million times, Wonder Woman scares the bejesus out of me. I just don't think it's heading in the right direction. From the casting on, I've been nervous about it.
I am too. That's a good point.
And I don't
McLaren left for, who left again? I'm mixing up the names.
Well, so they had one woman, they fired her, and then
for creative differences,
and then brought in somebody else who's the woman who was fired off of Thor 2.
Yeah, which is interesting. So
who's the chick who directed Monster? Mm-hmm. So you can also tell they're going very dark with that tone, but. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to become something where a female director takes on one of these movies, the movie tanks because of other bad decisions, and suddenly people feel like you can't have a female superhero.
Yeah.
A friend of mine is producing Supergirl.
Ooh, okay.
And she and I have had a lot of conversations about what it means to create a really great female superhero for the new millennium.
Yeah.
And when I saw that trailer...
let's talk about that.
Oh my God, it looks so good.
I was actually pleasantly surprised, because it kind of started as this romantic comedy, so to speak, or it's that surprised me. I'm like, okay. And I love the little nod she runs into a guy on the street and he totally falls because she's Supergirl. And then, for her to go, I can fly and save the plane. I was like, oh, that's an interesting balance. I'm going to watch.
I think it looks really good. I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for the people involved. I love Mehcad Brooks back when he was Eggs on True Blood. But I think that Anna DuVernay is just an insanely talented woman.
Yeah.
My fear is that you put so much pressure for the entire female population of Hollywood on one film.
Yeah.
There have been a number of superhero movies that failed miserably. That were just bad.
No, we had a big run of those movies like Catwoman and Ghost Rider, and well, Ghost Rider, I guess they had a sequel. But
I'm still thinking about like Green Lantern with the giant poo cloud monster at the very end. But there's been so many dudes who have screwed the pooch, and they've gone on and had great careers.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be something where a woman makes one bad movie and they're like, well, women obviously just don't know how to direct superhero films.
yeah, and that will happen.
It will.
Sadly.
But
And
I
you're
think-
so right. That is a great point, Sasha.
Well, thanks, dude. But
No,
I think that she would be amazing. What do you think?
Oh, I think she'd be amazing. I think, especially for what Marvel is becoming now with their movies, with the shared universe, they're becoming giant ensemble pieces.
Yeah.
Because, Black Panther's going to show up in Civil War, and then who's going to show up in his movie, and then Captain Marvel, and all, these movies are starting to just kind of, look at Robert Downey Jr. going to Civil War for a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
It's really Avengers 2.0, but so what I dug about Selma is that it was about Martin Luther King, but it was a giant ensemble piece with his journey and what the politics behind the march. And so I can't wait, and I hope she gets I hope she gets either.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't put a finger on which one I would want more. I don't, because I'm not also very familiar with the brand, sadly. The comics that I followed were Superman, Batman, and Spiderman my whole life. So I know about Black Panther and Captain Marvel, less Captain Marvel. So I just think she needs to get it, like now. Sign one of them.
Well, and when I think back on Selma, that scene on the bridge, we know she knows how to do a fight sequence, because that scene on the bridge is...
it's raw.
It's raw, and it's so memorable. And just watching like the people marching toward the line of police officers, that you could put a superhero right at the center.
Yeah.
Blaze of David Oyelowo, and you pretty much have what you would need for a really cool start of a fight sequence in a Marvel movie.
Great point. Yeah. So I think she needs to get it. I think she's a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
Well done, Marvel, if this is what you're doing, and I hope you're doing it because of talent and less about politics.
It's a little bit of both. And
It's
you know
a little
what?
bit of
That's
both.
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it to break it.
Yeah.
So might as well. So
Let
all
it
right.
be her.
So I guess now. Are we going to be away from Marvel? Yeah, we got about 20 minutes, guys. So let's go to another a scoop from our buddy Frosty, who came and co-hosted for me last week. He drops the new title for Planet of the Apes prequel sequel, War of the Planet of the Apes. Apes together strong. So yeah. Pretty right on the nose what everybody was saying. I remember seeing it with Christian Harloff of the Schmoes. Walked out of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and went, first thing we did was, next one's going to be War of the Planet of the Apes. It just is a very easy progression, a very logical jump to make. Do you like the title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Did you guys like the title?
Yeah.
War. What else do you want?
At the end of the movie, Caesar's, Gary Oldman is calling in the military. There is a cut scene that Matt Reeves did where you see a battleship coming into San Francisco.
Ooh.
He cut that because he essentially said in the great article that Collider.com dropped was, Matt Reeves said, look, I was doing too much. If I was going to actually show the actual war at the end, it would have kind of deflated the final moments between Caesar and Koba. So, I think, War of the Planet of the Apes, damn right it is, and it's going to be awesome. And Matt Reeves is coming back, so it was a great scoop by Collider. So I'm sure it's true. So what do you guys think? I mean, was the last Planet of the Apes good? Says Bob Nee.
Yes.
It's awesome, dude.
That is a great franchise. That is a franchise that has had just a solid 2 outings, and I think the third will be great.
I know you don't get that a lot where. You kind of did with some of these big tentpole movies. Like I think of Spider-Man 2 kind of came out, the Raimi version. It was much better than the first.
Yes.
Yeah, and not amazing. And this as well. So I think we're going to get a fantastic third outing. I can't wait for it. And it's directly related from the writers that they get.
Yeah.
The directors that they get. I mean, when Rupert Wyatt dropped out or left for whatever reason off the first one, Matt Reeves came in, and I was like, yep, solid choice.
Solid.
And then we got Andy Serkis.
Who's just, there's a guy who needs an Oscar already.
Yeah. And
the work that he does is just so game changing in Hollywood.
And I do kind of hear the back and forth discussion where, well, if you're nominating Circus, you got to nominate the guys, the technology behind it, the animators, the motion capture. They do. They actually do. In the Academy Awards, it was nominated for special effects and visual effects. So
it was one of the reasons that instead of taking first place in my Oscar pool, I tied because I thought it would win.
Yeah,
and it didn't.
You didn't win.
No,
wow.
I tied. I tied.
Yeah, tied.
I had to split the pot.
Yeah, I tied Josh McCouga a while ago. Yeah, last year's. So, and then we had a quick fire lightning round of trivia where I answered one more of him and I got the pot.
Get that pot. But yeah, I think Rise, Dawn, War.
Perfect.
I'm into all of them. They're such good movies and they're so emotional.
I know.
That's one of the things that I think is really incredible is they don't just do great action, incredible visuals, CGI that just totally has changed what we expect.
Yeah. Yeah,
but they also make them really touching and beautiful and conversation pieces outside of what the film is.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm so glad that they, it seems like they really give equal focus on, you have the apes colony and Caesar and his journey, and then you get to know the human side too and how they come together, and it's so fun to watch. Yeah. And then Toby Kebbell comes out and just nails it with Koba.
I love him.
Yeah, he was awesome. I'm excited to see him as Doom in Fast and Four. Do you want to see Fantastic Four?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, me too.
I even though I hate Miles Teller. Sorry, I do. He's the next Alex Pettyfer. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to tank his career because he's such a jerk.
Is he?
Oh, he's the worst.
Oh, I haven't. I just like him because of Whiplash. I just adored that movie.
He's so talented, and in real life, he's such a jackass. And every interaction I've had with him, press-wise,
you would know.
I want somebody to pull him aside and be like, don't Pettyfer yourself.
Yeah.
Don't think you're so big for your britches that you end up turning everybody in the press against you.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot of good performances, but you also have to make people like you and want to support you and make studio executives trust you.
That's part of this.
And I don't know. I like his work.
Yeah.
I don't like him. But I do want to see Fantastic Four.
I want to see it too, and I hope that Josh Trank, and I know he left Star Wars under interesting circumstances. Look, he was let go, I believe. I've heard way too many rumors, and a few close personal friends that know that I won't go into because it's just not the place for it. But yeah, I've heard bad things that he did.
Really?
Not bad, oh my God, he kissed a baby and then forced it into a couch. I know. I was about to, in my head, I was saying something very worse, and then I realized we're on a live show, and that wouldn't have been good. So anyways, by the way, just a little shout out because I do want to talk just a bit about it. Sneider, I couldn't talk to him about it, but Boba Fett spinoff movie that Trank might have been doing.
Yeah.
Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yeah, I'm kind of like this.
Why?
I don't necessarily need to know everything about Boba Fett.
How do you know that until you know?
Oh, am I going to see it? Hell yes. Am I going to be excited? Oh, yeah. I want to see Boba Fett. Oh, yeah, but
I think it'd be cool.
I think it's going to be cool, and I think it's going to be Boba Fett. I mean, now that Sneider broke it, he's right on a lot of times.
Sneider.
He's the Sneider, so I think it is Boba Fett movie. We've had too many, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's been rumors from day one, so it's probably going to happen. But why don't we switch gears a little bit? Guys, on the chat room, I want you to do something for me. Let's do some hopeful news break. Right? That's right, guys. On the Facebook fan page, Meet the Movie Press at the Popcorn Talk Network. Every once in a while, we drop a little request, hopeful news break, hashtag hopeful news break. What do you want to see break out there in the world of news? For instance, a lot of people were saying, I want to hear who Spider-Man is going to be.
Asa Butterfield.
Asa Butterfield. Back when the rumors were circulating, so is Spider-Man going to Marvel? People were talking about that. I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Yes.
And I went on record saying it'll never happen. Sony's not going to let it go. My God, was I wrong. I was really, really wrong on that one because I didn't realize how desperate they were. But I also said this before the leaks. I think the leaks were kind of directly related to that. I think they had to redo their image.
Force the hand.
So All right, guys, drop it in the live chat, okay? Put a hashtag Hopeful News Break and drop in what you want to see break in the world of news. But I'm going to go to Twitter for one of my boys who asked me a Hopeful News Break. It's I Am Not Groot. At I Am Not Groot. Oh. Thank you so much for dropping this in. He wants to know, he or she, I can't tell from your picture there. I want to know if Why the Last Man movie is happening. Have you heard about this?
Oh, yeah. I just heard about this earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, let's kick it off. I've kicked off all of these.
I've heard it's dead.
Oh.
I've heard it's absolutely dead. The last piece I pulled up was from Slash Film, 2014 by Jermaine Lussier, who actually came on the show.
Friend of the show.
He's basically saying it looks like it's dead. It's officially dead, he says. Once again, almost director Dan Trachtenberg was asked about the project, and on Twitter he said the following: not happening, but it's in trusted hands, the creators. I don't know what that means, really. I know we've had Disturbia director was possibly going to do it at one point with Shia LaBeouf. I call him LaBeouf. I haven't heard shit on this movie.
Yeah.
It's like it seems to have gone. I don't know anything other. When you tweeted that I Am Not Groot, I was hoping Jeff could chime in on this, but he's not here, so I'll ask him next week. But have you heard anything?
Exactly the same thing. I think the last we heard was back like 2 years ago when everybody was talking about it. Now I just think it's sort of dead in the water.
Yeah.
Well, that's not hopeful. We need something more hopeful.
Let's do something more hopeful. Let's see here. There's the music. Iron Kate's Hopeful News Break. What Avengers character will show up in Spider-Man Standalone? That's a good one.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah, why not?
Sure.
Right? Sure. I think more along the lines of an Avenger. And this is pure speculation as a comic book geek guy and thinking about the business side of things. You got Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man.
And maybe Hulk.
And maybe Hulk. All with their solo movies that do massive business.
Never mind. I thought you were saying in the... Go ahead.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
In the shared universe, sure. So I think by putting one of the Avengers in, cameo or otherwise, might be a smart business move. That's just my opinion.
Interesting.
And
build an audience.
Yeah, build an audience. But I also go back to, and it's just kind of awesome to think about a Chris Evans, a Robert Downey Jr., a Mark Ruffalo, a Chris Hemsworth showing up. I don't think maybe Thor. Personally, I would love to see Daredevil. Matt Cox go in there.
Oh, well then, but would it be Matt Cox? Or would
I think they need to. Daredevil is way too good.
Very interesting.
Because Spider-Man and Daredevil, they walk around the same town. I mean, sure, Daredevil's in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And every once in a while, Spider-Man kind of drops by, but it'd just be very interesting to see Daredevil. That's my choice. But yeah, I think a standalone movie will have a very big tie to the Marvel Universe. Again, no news on this whatsoever.
Sure.
This is just geeky speculation on my point.
I think my geeky speculation is Spider-Man, or Spiderman, as we've been calling him this morning, is so well known as a character that there is a built-in audience just because people love that character. I think they want to see what's done. Obviously, you can do it with Raimi, you can do it with Webb. People still show up.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe they could just trust that enough and use that. I don't know. I think it might be the launch pad for Captain Marvel. But
that's
at the same time,
too.
now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, what if Bruce Banner's like teaching a science class in the high school?
That'd be awesome.
It would never happen, but that would be so cool if they were like, oh, we're taking a field trip and maybe that's where the radioactive spiders are?
Maybe. I mean, if we go off the fact that it's not an origin, though, I mean, look, we've gotten a lot of news, and what are we going to know?
I hope it's not an origin story. We know the origins. Trust your audience.
Yeah.
And you had a movie that came out like 2 years, 3 years earlier. Just let it breathe. But I'm so scared that they're still going to be like, so then he got bit, and then he learned he could go like this. And
then Uncle Ben dies, and then
And then his parents abandoned him.
I get it. Yeah.
If I have to watch Uncle Ben die one more time.
I know. We've seen it. Just pop in the original Spider-Man or even the Amazing Spider-Man.
Stop.
Well, that was a good one, and
I like that one.
More along. Mladen Kulik. Did I totally butcher your name? Hopeful News Break. Is Tomb Raider reboot still in development? Far as I know, yeah, I think it is. I think we'll get it. I think we ultimately will get another Tomb Raider.
And that's enough time has passed where that's something I would like to see again.
Yeah.
And done differently and maybe better.
Yeah, because I really think we need a good video game adaptation movie. Like, I think it's due, because most of these movies come out based on a video game and they disappear like a fart in the wind. They're just like, whatever. It wasn't good. Prince of Persia, whatever.
Oh, Prince of Persia.
Poor Jake.
Oh, Jake's fine. He's going to win an Oscar this year for Southpaw.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's a hopeful news
He'll
break.
be great.
Yeah. So, I saw a bunch of other ones, guys, but the list, you guys are awesome. Look at all these.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Daredevil and Spidey team up movie. Yeah, that's
That would
the
be
guest. I love
very
that.
cool.
That would be very cool. That happens in the comics all the time. A big one that I missed. Sorry, I can't do a shout out because I saw it go by. But when is Captain Marvel going to be cast?
I think they're going to
soon.
drop it. They're going to drop it into one of the movies. I think that's one of those things they're going to keep totally close to the vest, and it will be a huge surprise as an Easter egg or something. I don't think they're going to, unless it leaks. I think they're going to try to keep that. That's going to be like a Comic-Con 2016 kind of thing.
So you think like a Comic-Con like special clip at Hall H,
something
and
like that.
Captain Marvel's revealed?
I think they are going to be very, very careful about how they trickle that information down.
I would venture a guess is no, Marvel's not going to Comic-Con this year, I heard.
A lot of people aren't going to Comic-Con this year because all of the big movies pretty much, I mean, Fantastic Four will come out a little bit after.
Yep.
But you've already got Furious out, Fury Road out. You've already got Avengers, San
Ant-Man
Andreas.
comes out
Ant-Man
soon
will
after.
be right after. I think it's going to be a heavy TV year.
I think you're right. Are you going this year?
I'm supposed to go, but like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
But last year, I remember like the big thing was the Interstellar shock when Chris Nolan showed up, and that was
That's right.
the main reason to be there, which was awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out this year. Maybe they'll drop it this year. But I think it's gonna be like a showpiece moment when they let us know what's going on.
Yeah, it might be exactly what they did with the Marvel announcement of Downey Jr., Civil War, the titles, Black Panther. I think you're right.
Do you think it's gonna be Emily Blunt?
I that's the rumor. I don't know. I really don't know.
Do you care?
I would love. I mean, look, I'm actually friend of the show, Katie Sackhoff. We did Schmoville did a total like trying to get her, and they did some great images of her face superimposed on Captain Marvel. She is Carol Danvers in real life. Like, Katie's awesome. She would be great. Sadly, she's not going to get it.
Yeah, she's not big enough.
She's not big enough, and I'm sorry, and I hate to say that, but I still think there could be. Marvel's good at it. They actually, but they're like right on the cusp of like Chadwick Boseman, like, he was right on the cusp, and then he's whoosh. So who knows? I don't know if it's Emily Blunt. It sounds like it could be. I mean, she'd be great.
She was so good in Edge of Tomorrow.
I know,
and I think that was like her casting tape in a lot of ways.
Hey, by the way, I'm going to drop a hopeful news break. Edge of Tomorrow sequel. Boom! Put that in your pipe. Smoke it.
I love that.
Wouldn't that be great?
It was awesome.
I love that movie.
Doug Liman comes back again.
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Come on.
Man, like, you need another franchise, don't you, dude? Mission Impossible's whatever. Oh, yeah, Mission Impossible 5's coming.
That looks so good.
It looks great. It looks really great.
So good. I'm excited.
Yeah. So, guys, I think that's all the time we have on Hopeful News Break. There's just a couple more things I want to talk about, but you guys rock. Doctor Strange and Civil War, says Brandon. Yeah, I think that'd be great. I'm sure they might put something in there. Maybe. I actually think that'll be a tag. That'll be the post credits. Yeah. I think that'll be Doctor Strange.
That's cool.
Yeah, some great stuff there. Bryan Cranston casts as Norman Osborn. Phew, the guest. You're dropping some just haymakers there. I love that. That would be bitching.
Yeah.
And there was a hopeful news break. Sorry, you guys are making me geek out. Like, who would be the first villain in Spider-Man? I don't know. I still think it'll probably be a villain that we haven't seen on screen before, which I'm thinking Kraven. I would do Kraven the Hunter. That'd be awesome.
But they've also said they're not going to do like a major villain. That's one of the things. Kevin Feige keeps throwing out ropes in different directions, and I think he's just doing it to mess with my head.
I think he's
like, there's not going to be a big villain. There is going to be a big villain. We're not going to do an origin story. We're taking you back to high school.
Yeah.
We're going to watch him get his powers. Nope, he's already got his powers.
Yeah.
I think he's literally saying everything in every interview just to throw people off the trail.
It's smart.
But it could be.
Yeah.
And that'd be cool.
It's smart. Yeah, it's great. So why don't we go out on a moment of nostalgia?
Ooh.
The Craft is being remade. Of course it is, because it's a property that had a cult following now, and they go, let's reboot it and do it with this guy who directed Honeymoon, which I haven't seen. And
neither have I.
Did you like The Craft?
Hell yeah, I liked The Craft.
God, I love that movie.
Fairuza Balk.
Yes.
Why don't you act anymore, Fairuza Balk?
I know.
She was the best.
She's
I
the
loved
bomb.
her. I loved her. She was so weird and quirky. Gas Food Lodging is a movie that I would still watch. She's fantastic.
She's
her
so
and
good.
Ione Skye being sisters in the Southwest, but man, The Craft.
The Craft is just awesome.
Was that the pinnacle of Nev Campbell? I mean, was it all
think
downhill
so.
after that?
I think, when was Scream? Was it before or after?
I think Scream was after. She
Yeah.
was still still on the rise.
She was on the rise.
5 train chugging uphill.
That's right.
But man, The Craft was last time I was on, we talked about the She's All That remake.
Right.
To which I say, how dare you, unless Little Kim is in it.
Yeah.
With the Craft remake, I get it. If you're going to do it, the special effects will be better, which is cool.
Yeah.
Make it scarier.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Definitely like push that envelope. Bring back Fairuza Balk.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I'm real burnt this week because they put out the Gem and the Holograms trailer, which
What was that?
It's Avril Lavigne in the holograms. I mean,
yeah, it looks.
when she said it's Showtime synergy, I almost broke my computer. I was like, this does not exist. Ah! That, the Point Break remake, there's all these things where I'm like, why are you like diddling the greats?
Yeah.
I mean, not that Gem and the Hologram is great, but it was like,
Well, it's a big.
it's a
big brand.
touchstone of my childhood.
There you go.
And
it doesn't look like.
it looks garbage.
It doesn't look like bubbly or warm and funny. It looks like some kind of music behind the music thing, and then with like bright colors on their face.
It's
I don't know.
Lifetime Movie of the Week crap, and it makes me really upset. But anyway,
Yeah.
with The Craft, if you're gonna do it a lot better. Don't give me these like lame ABC Family starlets
Yeah.
trying to make a name for themselves and be the next Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
Make a great movie. I don't care who's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it about like the little tweens. Make it a film that would be fantastic no matter who you got to star. And if you're going to do something that's already come before, either pay great homage to it or make it entirely original.
Yeah. Yeah.
And- yeah.
You know, I grew up knowing who Gem and the Holograms were. I didn't watch it or get into it.
Well, you have a penis.
Yeah, that I do. Last time I checked. And so it kind of passed me by. I know the brand, of course. But then when I saw the trailer, I was like, and I love Aaron Parisian, my senior editor on schmozno.com.
Yeah.
Posted her article, which she's awesome. She's like, what the hell is this?
Oh, yeah.
Gem and the Holograms trailer drops. And I'm just like, I love you for saying that, because it was garbage.
It was so bad. I retweeted that because I was like, this is, yes, sister, yes.
It was garbage.
But
So
with The Craft, what do you think? How can they do it either right or better?
I agree with everything you said. Make it scary. You know, I think I would love to see a hard R.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, because that's what was interesting was about the original Craft is like you have these outcasts, and there is the class struggle in the high school, the popular girls, the weird girls, the hot jock that you want to see and make them fall in love with you, and like all these things. So get into the mind of these high school kids. Make it like they're cussing, they're
Yeah.
bullying, they're on social media, they're bullying people on social media.
Yeah.
You know, you can explore that, because The Craft is about being different and embracing your differences and becoming powerful.
Yes.
So that would be interesting to play with, and go scary,
Very.
go dark, and cast it well. Bring in Fairuza Balk, absolutely.
You gotta.
As a kind of a sequel, like Vacation's doing, where it just seems like it's a continuation.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you like that trailer?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
I did. There were moments where I was like, well, but then Chris Hemsworth shows up and I'm like, yep, I'm in.
He was so funny in that. He's like,
Ed Helms is a great casting choice,
yeah,
too.
he's great.
And obviously,
Yeah.
bringing back the Chevy.
Yeah, bringing back Chevy, and it's a sequel. And are we almost out of time? I know we started late, Steven. Can we go a little bit longer? Or
You're good.
all right,
Oh, Sweet.
we're good. So The Craft, the original film with Nev Campbell, Fairuza Balk, and Rachel True. So the new one is the Honeymoon director Lee Janiak.
Haven't seen Honeymoon.
I haven't seen Honeymoon.
But we
and
know it's like a little bit dark and twisted.
Yep. Yep.
People at a lake.
People at a lake house. On their first night on the honeymoon, and the new wife wanders off and then comes back
And she's
changed
weird.
And she's weird. So sounds like a perfect horror movie. You know,
Cool.
all the tropes are there. So he's going to co-write the script. She. I don't know. Lee. It could go either way. Co-write the script alongside her. Thank you for that. Her honeymoon co-writer Phil Grazio. Fuck man.
Great.
I can't. So I don't know any of their work. I did click on an article. Where was it? It said the craft is being remade, and this is why it won't suck. That's what they said. So, man, I want to say Hit Fix, but I can't remember. So I think it was Hit Fix.
There's room for improvement there. You can
There
make
is.
it cooler.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. And I think that everything you're saying is so right on. Make it about bullying. Make it about how teens interact on social media. Don't make it... We have technology it's a resource now that they didn't have back in like the 90s when the film was made.
Right.
So exploit it. But we're in this weird place where that was sort of like the tail end of like the 80s teen movies.
Yeah, it was.
It still had like, that was when the Skulls came out and all
Right.
of that sort of like dark teen stuff was happening. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
We don't really have that genre anymore.
No.
It doesn't exist. Now all the teen movies are like Fault in Our Stars or Divergent or Hunger Games. And
Yeah.
it would be kind of cool to see a Heathers-esque
Ooh, yeah.
reinstitution of the teen dark genre film.
Yeah.
I would like that.
I dig what you're saying. And yeah, use the technology available to you. Don't overuse it. Go do the story, and make it raw. And I'll get behind it.
Yeah.
And again, there's so many reboots coming out. We were talking Poltergeist. Sadly,
It doesn't look good, you guys.
Sadly, it's like I just see the trailer and I just see the original movie in every shot. They're just redoing the closet scene with the portal, the television scene. They're here. Just twists on what we know, like the great scene where the guy goes in and pulls off his face in
Yeah.
the sink. It's like, but now we have
it's
Sam
not
Rockwell
even-
doing it. So, and
Yeah.
he's the Craig T. Nelson father part. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, I was saying, I remember that movie as so terrifying because I saw it as a child, and then when I saw the trailer, I was like, "But this doesn't look scary." It's like the dinner theater version of Poltergeist, as opposed to what I just rewatched the original.
I know.
And I love Sam Rockwell.
I do too. God, he's one of my faves.
There's nothing about this that makes me get chills or shivers. I just watch it and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
God,
'cause
why
you're-
are you doing this movie again?
Yeah, because you're watching like the trailer and you see the red nose drag on the ground, and then you see the creepy clown doll, and you immediately go, oh, well, that's like Annabelle or The Conjuring. It's like, no, they're just riffing off the original clown doll in the Steven Spielberg directed Poltergeist.
Speaking of clowns,
Oh, okay.
I do have to say,
Yeah.
I think Cary Fukunaga's It
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
is going to be great.
Yeah. What do you think of him casting? And I don't know his name. He was in Meet the Millers, and what else?
He was
it?
also up for Spiderman. What's his name? What is going on with us today?
I know, we're not knowing any names.
Will Poulter.
Thank you, Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
I think it's an actual fantastic job of casting, because he can look very creepy in a pedophile way. You know what I'm saying? That's really dark to go there, but I'm doing it because you could put him in a clown suit and look at him and he can just go weird on you and be like, hey, little boy, come over, and it's going to freak me out.
And Cary Fukunaga just gets,
He gets
True
it.
Detective.
It is phenomenal. And I can't wait for season 2. But the original series, like, he nailed it. So to have him come and do it, and to do it right, it's going to be 2 movies.
Yeah.
The first is going to be period piece. Second is going to be the updated when the kids are grown up. Perfect.
He's
absolutely
he
perfect.
Gets tone better than almost anybody working today.
Yeah.
He's going to be, sorry. You said clowns and it was.
Let's
gotta
talk
go
about that,
It.
because, they're calling it a remake. And I actually don't call it a remake, because it was a miniseries on television. You didn't have the heft of a movie studio behind it, and or the effects and the budget behind it. So we're actually getting a movie right version for it. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
That's going to be scary. And I bet you that's going to be hard R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back to Poltergeist, it's It's a rehash. It's the brand. They're doing it again. I don't know why they got the Monster House animated movie director to do it. Just because Monster House was monsters in a haunted house. But we'll see. I'll reserve my judgment. I'm a big fan of the original. It's one of my favorite movies. I did say Steven Spielberg directed it. There's the rumors that Tobe Hooper, he did direct it on the title card. Texas Chainsaw Massacre original director. Yeah. There are rumors that Steven Spielberg went in there and kind of took over, which makes a lot of sense because Poltergeist looks like the sister to E.T. The dark, twisted sister who got kicked out of school and cuts herself in the closet. Bad person. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes, guys. You're out there on the chat boards, and drop in. What are you thinking about? Let George Miller direct Poltergeist. Hell yeah, man.
That would have been cool.
I love that's Chris Ordaz. Great.
George Miller can direct everything now.
I think he's gonna little career resurgence on our hands.
Man,
right?
He's so well. It took him 15 years to make this one.
I know.
Which I'm like, he's old, so we don't have that kind of time. Yeah, better churn out another one quick.
He'll probably, if word of mouth is correct, let's hope the box office follows and we get another one.
Yes.
So, all right, guys. We are over our limit, but that was worth it because that was fun.
Oh, I love coming in and doing this. Thanks for being here, dude. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, anytime.
Thanks for doing this every week.
Thank you. I try.
Making the internet a better place.
I try, and you'll definitely come back on because the fans love you. So,
thanks, guys.
Guys, this was Meet the Movie Press on a Friday, rainy Friday on the Popcorn Talk Network. Every Friday we will be here. Jeff Sneider will be back next week. We are going to have El Mayambe is coming back in.
Cool.
And Heroic, what is it? I want to give him a plug because he just launched it. I saw it here on my Twitter. A lot of people are following it. Damn it, where'd it go? Oh man, I'm sorry.
Put it in the show comments afterward.
Yeah, guys, if you know, please drop it. I am just gelling on it. It's one of those days. I don't know what it is. I'm gelling on all the names. I need to follow it, but it's HH something. Oh, I can't. Just go to El Mayambe's. Follow El Mayambe, and he's going to talk about it, and then follow his new site. We're going to talk all about it next week. Sasha, where can everybody find you?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Sasha Pearl Raver, at Sasha Pearl Raver, and every Friday at 8 p.m. on FX Movie Download.
There you go. And as always, guys, I am at Riley Around. You can find me at schmoesno.com on the main show, which happens every Thursday live, 6 to 8 here at the Popcorn Talk Network. Check out all the other shows on Popcorn Talk. You got Profiles with Malone and Mance. You got Jedi Alliance with Ken Knapsack. You got Marvel Movie News. You got DC News. You have Guilty Movie Pleasures with Josh McCouga.
Yeah.
There are so many of them out there. Please follow along with Popcorn Talk. And, of course, Box Office Breakdown with JTE and artist formerly known as Finstock, Tom Dagnino. So, guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks again for tuning in. Follow us all, and we'll see you next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.